I will tell you that I was just thinking about this time last year. I missed a lot with my family. And since our last podcast, my mother has passed. And it was like I was taking a deposition in a closet at my niece's graduation party right as my mom got to Arizona. And I'm like, is this really where I should be at this point in my career?
No.
Why am I doing this? Why is my associate not doing it? And he refused to do it. A young man refused to take the deposition. So I had to go in the closet, take the deposition. And then, of course, the judge didn't let us use the testimony at trial. But I think if I had it to do over again, I would have had more fun in college. I would have worked less. And in law school, I would have worked a little harder in some areas. And I would have worked less hard in other areas.
So, but do you think you would be where you are today if you would have made those choices? Like, do you really feel like today somebody like you back then can get to where you are now by not working like you did?
Back then,
I'm hopeful
Yeah.
for that, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe that that's possible.
well, it's interesting. I had two professors. One was older when I was in college, and one was relatively young. The relatively young one had an awesome husband, 2 awesome kids, and she was tenure track. The other lady had 2 awesome kids, not so great a husband, but had waited 10 years or 15 years before she had her children. And she goes, I can't believe Professor so-and-so is able to do all of this so young. I was not in that position.
Mm-hmm.
But that professor had a husband who was not supportive of her career.
Mm-hmm.
The younger professor had a husband who was very supportive of her career.
Yeah.
So I think we have to realize that we have to marry the right kind of person too, or align ourselves with the right kind of person, because both have to want. You both have to want the same thing, or at least want it for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if you don't want your spouse to be gone and away, don't marry somebody who owns a law firm.
Right.
Or has to go out for drinks until 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, my husband's like, we were dating, he goes, will you always be out till 10 o'clock at night? I said, I will be unless you can support me in the lifestyle I'd like to become accustomed to living. Because this is part of my business, now our business. And so he goes, oh, okay. And he kind of looked at me like, okay, that's a valid point.
Mm-hmm.
So I would do things different. But I often say Castle Law is about to be 20 years old in the next month, less than a month now. And I could have a 20-year-old child. And so I did pour everything into my law firm. And I didn't really do anything different for myself than I had done for the prior 2 employers I had.
Mm-hmm.
I treated their business like my business. I treated their clients like my clients. I did everything I could to make them make money,